Today, we're diving into one of the most brilliantly constructed stories you'll ever find. It's about a desperate mission to save a child that gets suddenly interrupted. We're going to unpack this incredible story within a story, a literary move famously known as the Marken sandwich.
So, picture this. The situation is as urgent as it gets. A powerful, respected man's daughter is literally at death's door. The healer, Jesus, is on his way, rushing to her side. And then, everything just stops. He halts the entire procession for some anonymous woman in the crowd. Now, on the surface, this feels like a terrible, maybe even a cruel delay. But you're about to see how this interruption, well, it's the whole point.
You see, this story, which you can find in the 5th chapter of Mark's Gospel, masterfully weaves two crises together. And here's the key. You absolutely cannot understand one without understanding the other. Okay, so first up, we meet Jairus. Now, this guy is a big deal. He's a ruler of the synagogue, a man with status, with influence. He represents the very center of his community's religious and social life. But in this moment, he's just a desperate father. He throws himself at Jesus' feet, right there in front of everybody, and begs him to come and save his daughter.
And then, right in the middle of this chaos, our second story just explodes onto the scene. An unnamed woman who's been hemorrhaging for 12 long years pushes her way through the crowd from behind. Now, because of her condition, she's considered ritually unclean, which basically makes her a social and religious outcast. She can't just ask for help publicly, so she has to act in secret, believing that if she can just touch the hem of his cloak, that'll be enough.
Now, this is not a random detour. Nope, it's a very deliberate literary technique. Scholars have a fancy name for it, intercalation, but everyone pretty much knows it as a Marken sandwich. The author literally puts one story, the filling, right inside another story, the bread, and it forces us, the readers, to compare them. The story in the middle ends up being the key that unlocks the meaning of the one on the outside. And to really get the message here, we have to look at who these two people are. I mean, they could not be more different. They basically represent the absolute center of society versus its forgotten fringes. And this table just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got Jairus. He's named, he's important, he's from the very center of society. His problem is acute, it's happening right now. And his approach is public, loud, and it's for someone else, his daughter. And then on the other side, you have the woman. Anonymous, broke, an outcast from the absolute periphery. Her problem is chronic, 12 years of misery. Her approach is secret, silent, and just for herself. They are polar opposites in every single way. But then, the storyteller drops this hidden clue, this absolutely stunning parallel that connects these two opposite lives, proving that none of this is a coincidence. So with all these massive differences, what's the one detail the author uses to perfectly link them together? What's the hidden key that creates this kind of, divine symmetry? Okay, here it is. The first half of the code. The text is super specific. The woman had been suffering for 12 years. 12 years of pain, of spending all her money on doctors, of being totally cut off from her community. And here's the other half. The author tells us that Jairus' daughter is, you guessed it, 12 years old. And that right there is the aha moment. It's the moment the whole structure just clicks into place. Just think about what that means. The very same year that Jairus and his family were celebrating the birth of their precious daughter, this other woman's life was beginning to completely fall apart. For 12 years, as one life grew up in comfort and love, another life was slowly bleeding out in suffering and isolation. These two stories are deeply cosmically connected. So why go to all this literary trouble? Well, this brilliant structure isn't just to be clever, it sets up the absolute core theme of the story. What does faith really look like when it's staring down crippling fear and impossible odds? You see, both Jairus and the woman act in faith, but their faith looks totally different. Jairus has the faith of a powerful man. It's a public request for a specific kind of ceremonial action. Come and lay your hands on her. But the woman, she has the gritty, desperate, audacious faith of a complete outcast. She believes she can just pickpocket a miracle with one secret touch. So how does Jesus respond? He stops everything to find her. And when she finally comes forward, shaking in fear, he doesn't yell at her. He publicly affirms her. He calls her daughter. I mean, that's a huge deal. It's a term of endearment that brings her right back into the family, in front of everyone.
He praises her faith. But right in this incredible moment of restoration, Jairus' world completely shatters. That delay, all that time spent on this woman, it seems to have been fatal. Messengers run up from his house. The clock has run out. Your daughter is dead, they say. It's too late. All hope is gone. This is the pivot on which the entire story turns. As Jairus is spiraling into grief, Jesus looks him in the eye and gives him a direct command. The real test here isn't about whether Jesus can do a miracle, it's about whether Jairus, having just witnessed this woman's incredible faith be rewarded, can hold on to his own faith in the face of absolute despair. It all boils down to two words: fear versus belief.
And there's one final, totally radical theme woven into this whole thing. One that would have absolutely shocked the story's original audience by flipping their entire social and religious rulebook upside down. Okay, so to get this, we have to understand what ritual impurity really meant. According to the ancient Jewish law, the woman's condition made her unclean. This wasn't about being dirty. It meant that anything or anyone she touched also became unclean. And likewise, touching a dead body, which Jesus is about to do, made a person unclean too. It was a state of being cut off from God and from the community.
But here the rules get completely reversed. As the scholar Tom Wright puts it so brilliantly, her uncleanness doesn't infect him. Something in him infects her. His health, his wholeness, his power, it flows out of him and into her. In this new reality, purity is more contagious than impurity. Life is more contagious than death. So let's bring it all home. This is not just two separate miracle stories sitting next to each other. It is one single, masterfully designed narrative. It's built to show us that the interruption, the stop for the outcast, is the whole point. It makes the powerful man at the center wait, while the forgotten woman on the edge becomes the true hero of faith. It's a story where faith goes head-to-head with fear, and where a whole new kind of power flows out into the world.
And all of this leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. When a storyteller deliberately builds a narrative that hits pause on an urgent mission for a powerful man, just to focus on the quiet faith of a forgotten outcast, what does that tell you about the values that lie at the very heart of that story? What does it reveal about the kind of world it's trying to imagine?